Hello, all, and welcome to another edition of Stories with Mr. CCDV, which is kind of a branch off of Memoirs of a Pogue. But we're at the fourth deployment, and I want to let everyone know that Mr. CCDV's voice is a little shaky today, so you'll have to bear with him. If anybody has anything to say about that, they can come talk to me. And welcoming to the panel for the first time is Nina, and Nina's here in support of Mr. CCDV, and that's as far as we're going to go into that, unless he wishes to go further at some point today. So how are we doing overall, my friend?
Well, I'm here.
Yeah, we're all here because we're all not there.
I don't. You know what? I'm not sure that I remembered that we were going to do this today. Until I got your message this morning. So
well, that's totally understandable because normally we wouldn't be here until next week.
Right, yeah, okay. And I thought this was going to be the round table. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay.
Yeah. Normally it's the round table this week with Jeff and Mark, but unfortunately that Jeff got sick on Monday, so the round table didn't drop. But we will have that as soon as possible. But I remembered earlier on in the week you had asked, could we speed up the process a little bit? I was like, absolutely. So here we are.
Yeah, I had no idea it was. I had no idea it was going to go this fast.
It's okay, my friend. Just breathe slow. And I'm going to take a quick spin through chat. So, of course, we have Nina Green, Gorilla Random Thoughts, and, of course, my lovely Mrs. Canuck, who is going to be here shortly. It's less than a month now, which is just insane.
You guys are going to have so much fun together.
I'm going to have so much. But I swear, if this Mother Nature doesn't get a grip and stop either snowing or raining every like 5 seconds, because it switches every week, it's really obnoxious. I need the flood to get done and recede before Mary gets here. Otherwise, she might need a boat instead of a plane. But we're not.
Yeah, I'm wearing a full-on sweatsuit this week, and last week I had the fan running. Everybody was like, I can hear a bunch of stuff going on in the background.
It's because it's warm. All right, so I guess where we'll start is fourth deployment, which would be to where?
Iraq.
Iraq, okay.
Yeah, so 1 Bosnia, 3 Iraq. Now the one in Iraq is funny because it was 2011, and so we were closing it down. So I went from Mosul to Tikrit, and then when our great and glorious president that everybody loved said that all the troops are coming home, I went to Qatar. So I didn't get to go home, but I didn't have to stay in Iraq either, so I guess that's all right.
Yeah, that's a bonus. Yeah. It's just going home the long way.
Yeah, that's true. It only took 4 months and the long way around.
Yeah, it was a scenic route. Don't worry about it. Yes, we have direct flights, but don't worry, we're taking you on the scenic route. You'll love it.
Now, so, I don't. Where did we leave off?
So we basically left off when you were being, when you were about to head out, and you were explaining how this was the first time you were going over as a pencil pusher,
right? Okay.
And your ankle was still broken, and Mrs. Christopher was not all that amused that you were deploying with still an injured ankle, and
that is very true. She was very unhappy about that.
And you were kind of like, well, see, this is an order form. And if I break this, you're gonna have a lot more worries about, I'm not gonna be coming home anyway. It's called
It
stockade.
turns out that I could have, and it wouldn't have affected my career at all because my career ended 2 years early anyhow.
There you go. Things we live and learn.
Okay, so I was at Fort Drum, New York. I was working in the contracting office there. Now it's funny, right? Everywhere, all units, all offices, everything, they're all ranked by performance, right? Like you can
Okay.
do this and you're the best at this and that and the other thing. And in 2011, Fort Drum was the best government contracting office in the Army. The absolute best, like the pinnacle of contracting. Now, maybe I should tell you what contracting is.
Yes.
Contracting is the government's way of buying stuff.
Ah, yes.
Everything has to be in a contract. I mean, there's well, they raised the limit, but at the time it was like $3,000. You could use a government credit card to get up to $3,000, but anything over $3,000 had to go on a government contract.
Yeah.
And so that was my job, is to prepare the contracts. I was a contracting specialist.
Ah.
And the very first station that I went to as a contracting specialist was Fort Drum, New York.
Okay.
I was in commodities, which is, any stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
furniture and dining facility equipment and, physical stuff.
Yeah. You were
There's
in charge of.
also, there's 3 categories, right? And you've got physical stuff, and they don't charge $10,000 for a hammer anymore. If I have to buy 3,000 hammers, then it goes on a regular contract, but it's like a $5,000. Well, I think at the time it was like a $5,000 contract. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
but that I was buying like 10,000 hammers, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Things add up.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, and then there's services where you hire someone to clean a bathroom, or you hire someone to mop a floor, or you hire someone to empty trash bins or something like that. It's
Yeah.
usually a 6-month to a year contract with options to renew and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
And
of
then
course,
there's
terminate.
construction construction contracts, where you hire a construction company to either fix a building or remodel a building or build something new.
Yeah.
And they vary widely. I mean, it is crazy how much a government. Okay, seriously, this is where the terminology gets crazy, right? I'm a government contract specialist,
Yeah.
or a government contract officer, and then we hire government contractors.
Yeah. Because nothing like making things really exciting and
Oh
confusing.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's the absolute best. Uh
As long as
okay.
they can make an acronym out of it, they're fine.
Oh my god, that's fun. Oh god, I hope I can remember how to say that stupid acronym. Boy, that'll be funny.
Is it
Okay.
FUBAR?
No. Although maybe it should have been.
This is Fubard. If you don't know what that is, look it up,
Hmm.
kids. Um,
Yeah, you'll have to look that up yourself. I don't feel like saying it right now. Maybe I will later. Oh, so
Fubard and
okay,
SOL
so
were probably high on your priority list.
February? No. Well, maybe the end of February, March 2011. Anyway, whatever. So we're preparing, right? And we got the packing list and all that stuff. And I, at that time, because I'm an office guy and a pencil pusher, right? I qualified for the 9mm Beretta pistol that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to order Pelican cases for those, and we had to keep uh, the upper slide and lower register or lower receiver separate. They could go in the same box, but they had to be separate
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So we ordered boxes for that and cut out the foam and made everything good and proper so it could go on the airplane. We got to the airport and they were like, "You can't take this." And we said, "Here's the papers. Here's the box. It's packed properly. We are going. You can't stop us."
Yeah. Yeah. Because if the boys come to see where I am, you're gonna have a bad day. Yeah.
Okay, so we fly from Fort Drum down to somewhere in Georgia. I'm sure it was Georgia. It had to have been Georgia. I think the other day I said Florida, but I think it was Georgia.
Okay.
So yeah, we got there and it was a whole bunch of independent people deploying. Now, every the last 3 deployments I had gone on with a company size element or larger, right? When I
Yeah.
went to Bosnia with the first
Cavalry.
cavalry division, it was the entire battalion. And
Yeah.
so, and then when I was with 59th Quartermaster Company, it was just the company, but we were always attached to someone else. This time it was just me. I mean, there were two, two others, 3 others from the office who went. I think it was 3 others. I think it was 4 of us total from that office. But we were deploying individually, not as a unit.
Yeah. Got you.
And so we had to fly out of a special place where we had to take all of the regular pre-deployment classes.
Okay.
And oh, sorry, moving my legs is very difficult these days.
Not a problem.
So we had to take all the regular pre-deployment classes that we would usually take with all our buddies or our subordinates or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were in one of those classes because they go like 4 or 6 hours, something like that. I think one day we did 8 hours of classes or something.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a information overload, but it's mostly we'd heard it all before, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
snooze through it or whatever. But the person running the briefings that day, one of them had just ended. I went out, had a cigarette, came back into the theater. I was waiting for the next guy to come up and kill us by PowerPoint. And the person running the show said, "Okay, next up for the briefing is Sergeant Christopher." And I went, "What?" I don't recall being asked to give a briefing. Who's supposed to be giving the briefing? Not me. Certainly not me. I mean, I've been giving briefings, but those are all purchasing agent briefings and all that stuff. Not, I don't know what this class is.
Well, you
Turns
just kept
out,
voluntold.
turns out, it was my cousin Gabe, and He went up and took the stage, and I went, "Hey, I know that guy." uh, okay. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I met up with him afterwards. As I don't. No, he wasn't there when I got back. No, okay. So I spent some time with him, just chit chatting and stuff after the briefings. It was a good time. Good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. So we got on the plane, flew to what is that? Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And then because we were all deployed individually, we were like, last chance for a drink, folks. So we
Yeah.
did. And we got back on the plane and landed in Kuwait and did all the in processing in Kuwait. And first time on all four of my deployments that I flew to my destination instead of driving to my destination.
Always good.
Hmm. God, that was fun. Anyway, so we were in Mosul
Okay.
and Camp Diamondback, I believe it was. Well, don't quote me on that. I think it was Camp Diamondback anyway. But I had a in the contracting world, we call them excuse me, warrants. And the warrants are what allow a contracting officer to sign a contract
Gotcha.
and make that legally binding between the government and whatever contractor you've hired to do
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. So the warrant that I had in the beginning of the deployment was only $30,000. So anything that I spent over $30,000, I had to have someone else sign so that it would be legally binding and go through.
Yeah.
So I was buying like, toilet seats and a bag of hammers, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was great fun. It was great fun. My office I shared with our local national interpreter. No, he wasn't local national. He was third party national. I think he was from Turkey or maybe somewhere else. It doesn't really matter. He wasn't Iraqi. He wasn't a local, so it was third
No.
party national. I was sharing the office with him. He was a good guy, a really fun guy. Went to lunch with him several times, and you know, after the whole 2005 chai tea and onions things, I was like, no, I'm not drinking chai tea. I don't give a damn who tells me to. But the restaurant he took us to actually had really good tea, so I was pretty happy about that.
There you go.
Um, okay. Yeah, 2011. Shared the office. Okay. Um, in this particular office, I had air conditioning. Ah,
Where did this
finally.
last deployment?
Didn't need it in Bosnia, but needed it in Iraq and Iraq.
Yeah.
Finally got it in Iraq.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, you're moving up in the world.
So I had air conditioning. I had the government computer that I did all my work on, the contracting work that I was doing, and then and then there was a second computer. Um, yeah, that was purchased by whomever a couple of years before I got there, and so it had switched hands multiple times. And
Yeah.
hard drive was wiped if he didn't know how to go in and find the old pictures. And trust me, some of those contracting officers were not pleasant people. The
I
pictures
would
they took.
imagine not. Yeah.
Anyway, so that private computer we had, it was purchased separately. It wasn't a government computer, and we had um, like the slowest internet. Not slowest. Hold on. Back in '98, when I got my very first computer, it was about that fast. That's how fast the internet was in
So not quite
2011.
dial up, but
Yeah,
not quite what we have now.
yeah, yeah.
And if you don't know what dial up is, we don't have that kind of time to explain it. Um,
So it was cool though. It was all right, but because of that setup, right? All of our government computers were just fine. We never did anything on our government computers because we only used them for contracting and correspondence. That's
yeah,
all we used them for, or creating, PowerPoint presentations, stuff like that. All the stuff the soldiers do on computers these days.
yeah.
Um, and then the other one was used for personal stuff. Well, I'd been using computers for a little while by then, so I knew, make sure I didn't click on all the banners and
Yeah.
cookies and all those. I knew not to do that. Well, it turns out that in 2011, there was a email virus that was going around Yahoo.
Okay.
And so, like, 3 of the people in our office got that virus on their personal computers.
Oops.
Yeah. Oh, God, it was funny. So, and they were like, hey, Sergeant Christopher, you're actually pretty good with computers. And I was like, I am?
News to me.
So, well, I guess you're better than me anyway. I was like, okay. He's like, can
Just
you
a
figure out
token.
how to get
Um,
this virus off our computer? I was like, I have no idea. I'll try, I
white
guess.
sucker.
So I googled
Um,
it,
Google it.
I googled it. Yeah, I was like, how do you get this thing off of this thing? And I had the name of the virus at the time. I'm sure I did. I had to, right?
Yeah,
So
you
I had
have
the
to.
name of the
Otherwise,
virus and I Googled it and they said, do this and that and the other thing. And so I went and I did my very first um, virus workaround. And then, well, it wasn't 100% successful, actually. It wasn't very good. I basically put the computer in safe mode and kept
yeah,
it in safe mode for the rest of the deployment.
yeah. Well,
And
the
then,
the other way is format C.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, the next time someone got that exact same virus, I was like, yeah, let me see if I can try something different. So I typed it in again. I was like, what else can I do? And it gave me a program and it gave me the steps to go through the registry and actually delete the files
yeah, yeah,
for the virus. I was like, oh, I could do that. So I was like, type, 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 type. And sure enough, got rid of the virus. They were happy. So the next 2 computers came out a lot better.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Trial and
The
error.
Navy lieutenant, that's a O3 in the Navy. Um, and a lieutenant in the Army is O1 or O2. These are officer pay grades.
Yeah,
Okay, so O1 or O2 is lieutenant in the Army. O3 is lieutenant in the Navy, even though
gotcha.
they wear the same rank as a captain and they have the same pay grade as a captain. They're called lieutenants.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah, well, you figure out how to work with these other services. The only
Yeah.
uh, the only rank I've never been able to figure out is the Navy service enlisted ranks. Navy enlisted ranks because they call them by their job,
Well,
right?
if the resource was still available, I'd ask new, but unfortunately, I can't. He probably could have told you backwards and forwards. Um, but I always laugh because if you want to give somebody a bad day that is still for some unknown reason still running Windows 95 on a 2022 computer, just hit Control Alt Delete 3 times really quickly, and watch the fun. if you do it too many times, Control Alt Delete, Control Alt Delete, Control Alt Delete, it automatically formats C.
Does it really? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it was a major flaw with Windows 95. 98 they fixed that, but 95, oh yeah, you could wipe the whole freaking hard drive just by hitting Control Alt Delete too many times.
Jeez, wow, that's amazing. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wow. Also, if you want to give your if you have anything before even XP, it still works. If you go into your users and you find the guest user and you delete it, your computer store is going to hate you. The reason is that's how they get into your computer without asking you for your password.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
that's how they used to get into your computer because guest actually has administrative options, which is really fucked up.
That is
Um,
odd. Yeah, I
yeah,
never, I
so the
never gave my
default
guests
guest, yeah,
administrative.
yeah, the default guest.
I like Chris Purse's last comment. That's hilarious.
Sure, hold on, I can do that. Bang. No, wrong one.
Nope, not that one.
This one.
Yeah, as long as they don't have the responsibilities of a captain, then the LD should be happy.
Yes. Yes. So anyway, I distracted. Carry on, my friend.
Oh no, that's fine. Not really much. Oh my. Yes. Oh, this was hilarious. Well, it was hilarious to me. Actually, it made me really mad at the time, but I got over it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I was even in Missoula, I was the highest rated um contract specialist. Like I made more contracts in a day than most other people, and they were rarely with error or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
all the good stuff.
yeah, all the good things. So I was really I got dumped with more and more responsibility over the months. Right. But here's the thing. In 2011, um my legs fell asleep,
Oh,
right? And that was the very first symptom I ever had.
yeah,
Well, that was permanent, right?
yeah,
Cuz it was like I said we we talked about Germany last week, right?
yes,
Okay, yeah. So this is the very first time that it was permanent. It never went away.
gotcha.
And I was like, "Oh, wow, I must have been sitting in this chair too long." So I got up and started walking up and down the hallways. I was like, "Hey, legs, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you work for me, not I work for you. What the hell?
Now,
Yeah.
mind you, I wasn't able to run a 6-minute mile anymore, so I did gain weight before my fourth deployment. I was like 220 pounds, and it wasn't all muscle. Trust me, I was still making the height, weight, and tape um, measurements at that time, so it was not a big deal. But yeah, I think maybe I was 210 pounds instead of 220. I guess it doesn't really matter at that
No,
point.
not really. No.
Yeah, so I was a little chubby. Yeah. And
Well, you were a desk pusher. You're allowed to be.
desk pusher too. That's one of the problems. I gained weight. Yeah.
Right there. There's your problem right there.
But we would go to the dining facility in the morning. This is the very first deployment, also, by the way, where I got 3 meals a day in the dining facility.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that was
Step up.
pretty nice. Um, okay, we'd go to the dining facility in the morning, and I would
Yep.
grab 2 Mountain Dew and put them in my cargo pocket and go to the office, right? And so I'd be sipping on those cans for like 4 hours. And sometimes I would only go through one can instead of two, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked like a chimney. Even then, especially then, because cartons were still $5 a carton there. So I was smoking a lot, but I was pretty darn efficient at doing the whole um, the contracting thing. So nobody cared that I took smoke breaks often,
Yeah.
except for this one guy. And I'm not even going to say the rank because I've already told you where. And I already told you a couple of other items where if anybody did their due diligence, they could figure out who I was talking about. But this one
Mm-hmm.
guy, I'm not even going to tell you his rank.
This one bloke.
He was one of those gym rats. You
Oh
know, he
no.
was. Oh yeah, I mean, he had the.
Oh.
You know, he'd take his shirt off and you'd see the Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth abs and stuff. You know, it was like, I'm in shape better than anybody. But he was pulling 4 to 5 Rippets at the time. Rippet was one of the energy drinks. I don't
Yeah.
yeah. So he was pulling 4 or 5 of those every single meal.
Yeah.
And I was grabbing just 2 Mountain Dew to,
Yeah.
have while I was in between waters because it's still Iraq, even with air
Yeah.
conditioning. You
Yeah.
have to drink
Exactly.
water.
Yeah. But no, we get it.
um, but that was, so that's what he was doing. But he was a gym rat, so he spent like 2, 3 hours in the gym every day.
Yeah.
I'd go to the gym for, I don't know, half an hour or something like that. I'd do a little bit of walking on the treadmill, do some push ups and sit ups, and like, that's it. That's all I need to do.
Low impact.
But I was chubby, right? A little
Yeah.
bit chubby. And so um, one day at dinner, I was I was there with the whole group, right? And I got my tray and I sat down and I ate whatever the meal was that day. Oh, that was the first time I had shawarma. Oh my gosh, shawarma really is good.
Alrighty.
Anyway, I don't know what the meal was that night. I don't really care either. But
No.
I would have 1 scoop of ice cream after each meal
Yeah.
because I got a sweet tooth. I admit that.
Yeah. Everybody has their.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So I had 1 scoop of ice cream after every meal. And oh, this is why you got mad at me. Oh crap. Yeah, 2 of them in the office got mad at me. Okay, that's why. Okay, so a couple days prior to that, I had my first um uh um the thing where you get dizzy and you stumble a little bit. It's
Unequilibrium.
vertigo.
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 Okay.
And so I had my very first episode of vertigo there, and then I started having the whole sleepy leg thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I staggered a little bit, but I staggered away from traffic, not toward it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You become a
But yeah, a
pro.
couple days
Danger.
afterward, I had a scoop of ice cream, and one of the men in the office was like, "Do you really think you should be eating that?" I said, "Yes, sir. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't." And the very next day, I'm not joking, the guy walked into my office and he yelled at me for like 30 minutes, like, "You're sipping on the Mountain Dew. Or no, he said, "You're chugging the Mountain Dew all day and you're a fat guy and you," and I was like, "Sir, relax."
Yeah, chill.
I've been having neurological symptoms for a while. He was like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that and you shouldn't be doing the other thing." And I go, eh.
Let me know how those how those
Yeah, give
kidney
yourself
stones.
10 years and see how the Rippets affect you. Yeah?
Yeah,
No, I didn't
we'll
say
talk
that.
about
No, of
kidney
course
stones
not.
together later, okay? Because that's what energy drinks will do to you. Kidney stones. Anyway, moving on.
Uh, yeah, let's see.
Just saying.
Missoula. Oh, there was a monastery up there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, one of the original monasteries from like the third or fourth century. I'm not sure which. It was fantastic, man. I mean, it was basically in ruins, but it was pretty damn cool to see.
I bet.
And then when we had gone in and in 2003, I'm sure. Well, they fought over Mosul for a long time, but they, I think, yeah, because the 101st was in 2005. So the 101st had control of that base, and so the monastery there, somebody, and I know it was authorized by their commander, painted the Screaming Eagle, the 101st Screaming Eagle, on the wall of the monastery,
Whoops.
and they used the cistern as a trash pit.
Oh, whoopsie. Oh boy. Good thing smiting isn't a thing in 2011. Or,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Mm,
Oh, that was, yeah. Sometime after that, it became a protected site, and so everybody at Diamond Base was allowed to go as a tourist and see it. It was pretty damn cool. Now, have I told you this before? That Mosul is Nineveh?
no.
Yeah, Mosul is Nineveh.
Okay.
So there's actually a lot of ruins in Mosul that you, well, if you were allowed to visit Iraq, you could go in and see.
Yeah.
That was the only one I got to see on that deployment, though.
Okay.
Okay, so the funny thing about my neurology and the guy chewing me out for drinking Mountain Dew and eating a scoop of ice cream.
You're not allowed the nice things in life. Jeez.
Yeah, not allowed to have the nice things in life. um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh no, oh, that's the one where, yeah, we got the word in September. It was either September or October. It didn't matter. We knew. Everybody in the contracting field knew that we were pulling out of Iraq at the end of the 2011 thing, right? We all knew it, all of us. And there was a medical company, right? Medical company called me and said, "We need to hire a new cleaning lady for 6 months for our latrines." And I said, "No." I said, "You can't say no." I said, "Yes, I can say no. I know that we're leaving in a month." He said, "No, I don't care. You're going to hire somebody for 6 months." And I said, "No, I'm not." And so he called my commander, and my commander said, "Just write the contract." It's like, "Ma'am, this is going to kill us. This is ridiculous. Why would I write a 6 month contract when we're leaving next month?" She said, "Just do it, Sergeant." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I wrote the contract. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. When we
Yep. Yep. No
I wrote
problem.
the contract, and I shit you not, it was the very next week that same guy called me back, and this was his tone. He was like, "We have to cancel the cleaning contract." I mean, I had gone back and forth with this guy. I was like, "Look, you've got privates, you've got private first class, you've got
Yeah.
specialists. They are somewhat medically trained in some medical fields. I totally get that. I was a combat lifesaver for 15 years. I totally understand. They are talented people with lots of things to do, and I get it. But they can take 30 minutes out to clean a latrine every
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
instead of me spending $10,000 to hire someone to come in and scrub a toilet every day. Just
What's
get
ten
your
thousand
put your
dollars among
privates on a
friends?
cleaning rotation." I mean, I had been in the army for 16 years at that point. Trust me, I scrubbed a whole lot of toilets.
Yeah, but what's $10,000 between friends, especially when it's Uncle Sam's money? I mean, come on.
Especially when you have to pay 90% of the contract, even though you only get 1% of the service. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
that's always good.
$10,000?
Yeah, what's $10,000 amongst friends, especially when it's Uncle Sam's money? Who cares? Um, Minor
God, I
point.
was pissed about that.
I bet. Didn't I tell you this would happen? Yes. Why did I do this? Because I have higher rank than you. Got it. You
Okay,
stupid.
so we did that. Okay, yeah, and that's pretty much it for Mosul.
All right.
And then we moved to Tikrit, which is in southern Iraq. Now, Mosul is mountainy, and that was it had a mixed population of Kurds and Sunnis, right? So there were problems in Mosul. There are always going to be problems in Mosul because that's where the richest oil fields are in Iraq.
Yeah.
And the Sunnis want them, and the Kurds have been there for like 2,000 years or something. And the Kurds were like, "Oh, we want to keep the oil fields," and the Sunnis are like, "No, you can't." And
Yeah. Round and around the merry-go
yeah,
bush we go. Yeah.
constantly, it's absolutely ridiculous. But that, oh, sorry.
No problem.
Just give me a minute.
Yep. Take all the time you need, my friend.
Okay. So Mosul is kind of mountainy, a little bit higher elevation, much more comfortable weather there.
Yep.
I mean, when I say much more comfortable, it only gets to like 110 degrees in the
Yeah,
middle of
yeah,
the
yeah.
summer.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is much more comfortable weather up there. Uh, and then Tikrit. Oh wow, even in October, November, Tikrit is just
Even the devil sighs. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, Tikrit. Okay. Not really a whole lot happened in Tikrit. I don't. Well, I guess if it's not memorable, a lot didn't happen, huh?
No.
But
Just another day at the office.
yeah, just another day at the office. But one story I remember specifically, I was at my desk and writing up some contracts and stuff. And so one of the very lovely, wonderful women came in. She was there as a let's see. You understand that civilians get hired into the government,
Yeah.
their government specialty pay grade or
Yeah.
GS whatever. And the GS 357s work in contracting. I'm sorry, that's a pay grade, right? GS3, GS5, GS7, and GS9s, 11s. I don't know why they're odd numbers. I haven't figured that out.
Because they're odd people.
But anyway, yeah. So one wonderful, wonderful woman. She was absolutely fantastic. Loved her to death. She used to make smoothies, right? Because
Okay.
in the dining facility, if the bananas had too many black spots on it, the dining facility would just, you know, you want these, and a bunch of people would take them because who cares if bananas have black spots on
Yeah.
them? She used to make smoothies every day, right? And I knew that. I knew that. No, I
Yeah.
didn't worry about it, right? Because I was like, well, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm really glad you guys get enough fresh fruit down here to actually make smoothies. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so one day I was deep into doing I think provisions and clauses on one of my contracts, and somebody, it turns out, came in and set a little tiny Dixie cup with a smoothie in it on my desk, and I didn't even think twice. I just reached over and grabbed it and drank it down. I was like, man, that tasted good. And then, like 1 minute later, I was like,
Uh oh.
Oh, oh crap! That had a banana in it, didn't
Oh darn! Full
it?
system reboot.
I didn't actually have any Benadryl with me there.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm not so allergic that I have to have an EpiPen ready, but I did need Benadryl, and I was like, I didn't have any Benadryl. I needed to go to the store and get Benadryl. My tongue is starting to go all tickly and so thick,
Yep.
and like, I need to go to the store and get Benadryl.
Lesson learned. She's trying to kill
Oh.
me. Why for you try to kill me?
Oh, Tikrit is where I was watching Doctor Who with
Oh,
Matt Smith. Yeah.
there
It
you go.
took that freaking place, man. I'm telling you, it took me like an like like 2 to 2.5 hours to download a 48-minute episode of Doctor Who.
Oops.
Oh,
Well, at least you had time to burn.
that is true. Yeah, we were working 12-hour shifts, but we
Yeah,
get
lots
time
of
for
time to
lunch
burn.
and all that, so it wasn't a big deal. That's where I saw the first season of Game of Thrones. Oh my
Oh,
god,
there you
there's a
go.
lot of stories from Tikrit. Holy cow.
Yeah. Just when you thought you didn't have one, you have a million.
Well, turns out I didn't actually like Game of Thrones, even season one.
No,
Even
I
though
didn't either.
everybody was
I
like, "Oh,
stopped
Game
after
of
season
Thrones
one.
is the best thing on TV right now." I'm like, sure it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not my kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Everybody dies.
Right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. What? Ned Stark, I think, died at the end of that one, right? And
Oh, a
everybody's
whole
like,
bunch
"Oh,
of
that was such an emotional scene and all that." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't care."
yeah. I live the real thing. I really don't give a darn. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I guess a lot did happen in Tikrit. Well, I mean, you're not talking about getting shot at, and you're not talking about getting mortared, and you're not talking about rockets flying over the base or anything like that. We
No.
did have some of that in Missoula, but we
Yeah.
didn't really have any in Tikrit.
Yeah. It was
At
a little
least,
bit more chill.
yeah, I don't think we did anyway. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
No.
I don't like talking about those anyway.
No.
Um, it's a really good dining facility. Watched a whole bunch of movies. Still, they were 7-day weeks though. 7 days, 12 hours.
Yeah. That's a
That's
little
still,
draining.
that was a lot of work. We didn't get
Yeah.
weekends off. Everybody's stress levels are really high.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Nobody's. I mean, if you get angry at a buddy for a little while, you stop being angry with that buddy after a little while.
Yeah, it all passes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good God! Thank you very much, Ramblin' Canuck. I'm clearing up.
All good. All
Oh,
good.
whew.
All
All
right. So
right.
where do we go from to crit?
Now, this is the part where our glorious, wonderful, well loved, and never to be compared to any other president made the announcement that everybody's coming home.
All right.
I had my own personal laptop at that time, but I didn't have the personal computer from Missoula.
Yeah.
Right. So the internet was even slower in Tikrit than it was in Missoula.
Yeah.
Take that for what it's worth, Sunnis.
Get better
Um,
internet.
yeah, I'm done. Sorry. I'm seriously not racist, but yeah, I feel like it sometimes when I say things like that.
eh.
Like the Kurds have better internet than the Sunnis do. Sorry.
That's just fact. Leave it
It's
alone.
just fact. uh,
It's better techies. Um.
anyway, yeah, so uh the former Mrs., right? She contacted me the day of the announcement and she said, "You're coming home." And I said, "I am?"
Yeah. Since when?
And she said the president just announced that all the soldiers in Iraq are coming home. And I went, oh, wow, I haven't heard that yet. What I
Yeah, I
heard
wish you
was
would have
that I've
told
got
us.
orders to go to Qatar.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking a detour. I'll see you in a bit. Um,
Oh, she was absolutely furious.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I,
but he told us you're all coming home.
I am.
Well,
I'm
I
just
don't
taking
know
the
what
long
to
way.
tell
It's
you.
all
I
good.
will be home eventually, but
Yeah, I'll get there.
I have
I'll
to
get
go to
to it.
Qatar first.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. I'll get there eventually. Um,
Oh,
so
jeez.
so what was the rationale for you having to go to Qatar, or do you even remember, or did they even
Well,
tell you?
here's where I think I referenced earlier talking about acronyms, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that last few months that I was in Iraq, they had acquired a new commander for Combined Contracting Command. It
Okay.
was CCC.
Yeah.
That was easy. Combined Contracting Command, CCC. And the reason it was Combined Contracting Command is because the combined meant that the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines were all working together in multiple offices throughout Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah. Obviously.
Right? So there you go. Combined Contracting Command. It
Uh-huh.
makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Well, we got an admiral,
Uh-oh.
and he wanted to have all of the same amount of personnel in theater that his predecessor had.
Oh.
And so instead of allowing everyone from Iraq to go home, he created a joint theater support contracting command.
Oh, lovely.
JT Joint Theater JTS Joint Theater Support. Okay, so JTSCC, I think.
Okay. A whole bunch of words that basically meant I was
Hey,
hoop.
congratulations, Admiral. You added 2 words and made us all confused.
Yeah. Thanks. We needed that. Um.
But he wouldn't let the people from Iraq go home. We had to
Oh.
finish our 12-month commitment.
Oh, lovely. Gotta love those
No,
people.
I there were reasons for that too.
Well, of course.
I mean the a lot of the contracting officers who had less time in service than me were like, "Oh, we need to get X amount of months in a theater of conflict in order to get some kind of medal or something." And I was like,
Okay. So they were
"Yeah,
gold.
whatever. I don't. Yeah, okay." You know what? All of those people who argued to have us stay, I hope you are enjoying your medal,
Yeah.
because as of now, when you are no longer serving and you are, at home and you got your 10,000 shadow boxes on the wall, it means jack shit. You should have let me go home in December, you fucking retards.
Yes, pretty much. Uh, so when you get back home stateside, is do you get assigned to another office, or is that the end of the road?
Well, I was assigned to it. Well, I stayed at Fort Drum for a few more months.
Okay.
Uh, the former Mrs. was in California. She had purchased a house while I was deployed.
All right.
Um, and I had to stay at Fort Drum for several months. Now, I had orders to go to Colorado Springs, back to Fort Carson. And I was like, oh, that is fantastic. That's wonderful. I want to go back to Fort Carson so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bought a trailer. I was going to live in the trailer at Fort Carson while the missus was in California, uh, doing the whole living near her family stuff. And then, 3 years later, I would retire and wait, 2011, 2015. 2015. No, it would have been 2016. So 2012 to 2016. 4 years later, I would have retired.
Okay.
Well, she decided that she wanted me in California. So she proposed, and I followed through on a hardship um, a hardship transfer. So instead of going to Colorado Springs, where it's beautiful and lovely and it snows and it
Yeah.
has beautiful summers and the hills are absolutely gorgeous, and I've got friends in Colorado. Instead of going there, I went to Fort Irwin, California, which is 30 miles away from Barstow, which is 30 miles away from Victorville, which is an hour and a half away from Los Angeles,
Oh, lovely.
which means I was a half hour from everywhere.
Oh, joy.
Oh, I didn't finish Qatar.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to wrap this up, or do we want to just, because this is I don't know what I'm going to be like next week. I'd rather just finish it all right
Yeah,
now.
we can go right to Qatar.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
If you've
backtrack
got
to
time,
Qatar.
if your
Yep.
spine holds out, if you
Well,
get
I have a hard end in 20 minutes because then I have to get ready for dialysis. But we've got
okay,
20
I
minutes.
will try my best to be done in 20 minutes. Qatar Joint Theater Support Contracting Command. Hey, I said it right. Yay. I in 4 months, I think I had this number at one point. I think I wrote like 900 contracts in 4 months.
Okay.
The funny thing is, like every week, every team would be loaded up with a certain number of contracts. They were distributed by the commander of the office. And so every week we would get that. And in Qatar, I actually had Sundays off. So it was only 6 hours, 6-day weeks there.
Yay.
Yeah, very nice. But, every other base had a team, at least two people, right? A contract specialist, contract officer who was working on contracts for that base at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So every other base in Afghanistan had a team working to write their contracts for them. I had I wish I could remember the name of the base I had. It wasn't Leatherneck. They gave the Marine Leatherneck, which is funny.
Yeah.
Well, whatever base I had, I was alone. I was the one sole contracting officer who had a base to deal with, right?
Uh-huh.
But I was getting all the same amount of contracts every day as all the other bases.
Lovely.
And so, well, I mean, obviously you go through, right? The contract specialist writes the contract, and then the contracting officer reviews it and says, you need to correct this, that, and the other thing. And then the specialist corrects this, that, and the other thing, and then the officer signs it,
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty efficient, and there's a bunch of checks and balances in that.
Yeah.
So I think I was doing upwards of it was between 15 and 30 contracts a week.
Fun.
But I was doing them all by myself.
Yeah.
And I had my laptop there, and I was watching I think Smallville is what I was watching at the time.
Okay.
I'm sure I was watching other series as well, but I remember watching like the 4 seasons of Smallville they had. So
Yeah.
I was watching those while I was contracting, right? And I would take
Yeah.
an hour every day to go to the pool and swim laps, and then go to lunch, and then come back to the office and do a bunch more contracts. And every Monday morning, and I shit you not, every Monday morning after the first month, our commander would come into the office, and he would point at Bagram, the Bagram team, and they would say, "How many you got?" They go, 17. And then he would point at the other big base, not Bagram, but the other one in Afghanistan. He would point to them and he would say, "How many you got?" And they'd go, like 18 or 20. And then he would point at all the other smaller bases and he would say, "How many you got? How many you got? How many you got?" And then, and I shit you not, it was every single time he would point at me and go, "Sergeant Christopher, how many do you got?" And I go, well, 0 or 1. I'm not sure. Let me look at the computer real quick. And so he would look at everybody else in the office and go, "Load him up." So I was doing my 15, and then I'd get another 10 or 12 at the end of Monday. And so I was doing, I was doing up to 30 to 40 contracts a week. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, because they're 12-hour days, right? And I did my laps at the pool and I went to the dining facility. And we get to the end of the day and I'd go to the dining facility and have my dinner and my 1 scoop of ice cream. And then we'd go to the bar. They had a bar in Qatar.
There
We
you
were
go.
only allowed to have 2 drinks, but they had a bar in Qatar, man. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
there you go. It even rhymes. There we go.
So we sat around, everybody from the office. Well, not everybody from the office, but a bunch of us from the office. Usually about 8 people would go there, and every night there was music playing, and we'd have our 2 drinks, and then we'd go back to our rooms and go to sleep and all that, and wake up the next day and do it all over again. Except that on Fridays they had karaoke, and so I got to be known as karaoke guy or two-board guy to all the locals who were running the bar.
There you go.
And
Always
we
have
had
to leave your
poker
mark.
tournaments once a week. I won 4 of those poker tournaments. That was fun.
Yeah.
But when it was just the 6 or 8 of us sitting around the table, I introduced them, and I've introduced this game to many of my friends over the years in the Army. It's a game called 99. It's a card game, okay?
Okay.
Where you just take a regular deck of cards and you leave the jokers in, and you shuffle the cards, deal them out. Everybody gets 3 cards, and you work your way up to 99. Face cards are 10, aces are 1 or 11, jokers are automatic 99s.
Okay.
4s reverse the direction of play. 9 is a pass, and 10 is a minus 10.
Oh,
So
lovely.
if you're at 89 and you throw down a 10, it goes down to 79 instead of up to 99, right? So
Gotcha.
easy. It's a lot like Uno, except without the color changes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. I enjoy it. You can play many, many rounds all night long.
Yep.
And it was fantastic. And so I used to try and introduce that on every single deployment. I'd get like 4 or 5 guys together and be like, "Hey, let's do this." And I'd throw the cards out and they'd go, "This is dumb. I don't want to play this. Let's go back to spades." And I go, "You want to play spades instead of 99? That's fine." And then oh yeah, the 6 or 8 of us from the contracting office, every single night we'd play 99. Every single night we'd finish our 2 drinks and play 8 or 9 rounds of 99.
There you go.
God, it was so fun. Oh my God. And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Qatar. No, I went to a bazaar in Qatar.
Oh, there you go. Real tongue twisters.
It was actually a really cool bazaar too. It was like an outdoor mall kind of thing.
Okay.
Right. Bunch of shops, and you see on a lot of those documentaries that the streets are really narrow and crowded and
Yep.
there's tables everywhere. It wasn't like that in Qatar. It was actually fairly well organized. It was a lot
there you
more
go.
like an outdoor mall in America, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, it was all Middle Eastern stuff, right?
Well, of
So
course.
yeah, well, that was a pretty cool bazaar.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be. All
Anyway,
right.
yeah, I had a good time there. Yeah, but that I think that's it for Qatar.
Okay. So,
No, the
in,
water polo game.
oh, all
I,
right.
yeah, I was a water polo player
Oh, there you go.
in high school, um,
Nice.
and I mean I wasn't a great polo player by any stretch of the imagination, but I played water polo. You know, swim up and down the pool, throw the ball,
Yeah.
try and get in the net, and all that. Well, it turns out that in Qatar, one of the other units, not a contracting unit, but somebody was in Qatar for some reason, I don't know. But two of the lieutenants in that unit were college water polo players.
Ah.
And they saw me swimming laps at the pool every day.
Yeah.
And so they said, "Hey man, we're water polo players." And I went, "Oh, hey, I used to play water polo." And they said, "You think you can get a team together?" And I laughed. Do you see anyone else out here swimming with me?
Yeah. Does it look like I can pull that out of my arm?
But I said, you know what? I'll try because that sounds like fun. I'll try.
Yeah.
And I did. I actually managed to get like six guys together to play water polo one night against these two guys, and they had three or four other guys with them.
Yeah.
And you know, so I was the center, or setting hole is what it's called in water polo. I was
Okay.
the center position, and then I had all the other people holding on to the walls. You know, our goalie I had holding on to the wall so he could come out real quick and try and bat away the ball. You know, but I didn't want anybody to get hurt or drowned or anything like that. So I was like, everybody else just hang on to the wall. If you can
Yeah.
swim out for a little bit and try and help block, that'd be great, but don't
Yeah.
worry about it. And those two guys were really cool about it. They understood. Water polo is such a difficult sport.
Yes. I've seen it. Yeah.
So in the first half, I was the one swimming back and forth across the pool. And I said, okay, guys, if ever I'm out in the open, just throw me the ball and I'll try and make a goal.
Yeah.
You know, so I would swim out and then I would take a hard right or something like that and to swim off away from my opponent. And they would throw me the ball and I'd turn around and throw it at the net. I got 3 goals in that first half.
Well, there you go.
And then the two college guys were like, well, I know we're up by like 4 points, but let's block this guy so he doesn't get any more.
Yeah. Yeah. This is rude.
So I think we lost like 12-3, but God, it was fun.
Yeah. It's not about the points. It's about the fun. Yeah. Totally. All right. With that, we're gonna wrap this one up. But before I do, I'm just gonna quickly put it out there. I guess very very vaguely, but
Well, this is why I asked Nina to sit in because you are going to describe it vaguely and Nina can fill in the details because
yeah.
apparently I thought this had been going on for a week. And she said, "Nope, you've been angry and slumpy for like 2 weeks." And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
If you say so. All right. So basically, Mr. CCDV, i- as most of you know, has MS, and his MS is deciding that it's going to progress in leaps and bounds. Um, so the reason I'm telling that to everybody is one, so they can keep him in keep him in their prayers. If I can speak English, um, uh, and just kind of send him a whole bunch of good vibes because he needs them right about now. Um, you know, it was important for him to get this all out, which is why we bumped this up by a week because well, he's not 100% sure that he's going to be able to remember all this next week. So I would ask that you would keep him in your prayers and keep him in your thoughts, um, and just kind of say hi to him, and he'll kick my in the ass for that one, but oh well. And just send him some good vibes, help to make him smile. He'll need it over the next little while. He's got a rough road to hoe. And we'll try to get back and maybe even just have a few joke streams or what have you. But he's looking at getting a couple things done, and he's got a long road ahead of him. And physically, he is starting to crumble. Um, and so just kind of a heads up to everybody, uh, give him a nod when you can. Uh, Keep him in your prayers for sure. Um, he's still hanging in there, but just sometimes,
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to progress this quickly.
yeah,
I mean, I knew it would. I just didn't know it happened in
yeah,
such a short time.
yeah. So basically, I mean, it's not all gloom and doom, but he's got a couple of rough patches ahead of him, and
And
you know,
I want to okay, it's uh whew, how do I say it? If I have been angry or mean to people, I apologize. I don't I apparently don't realize I'm being mean to people uh, for the last couple of weeks.
and yeah, I mean, as a person who experiences pain not to his level, but he has those moments, we don't realize it at the time. We really don't, and we usually don't mean it. It's just we're going through a few things, and we're trying to hide it for the most part. Uh, so we act. Uh,
The I think the snapping anger part is the part that I like least because
yes.
apparently I'm really snapping at people and I'm getting angry at I'm getting angry at everything. So
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like to be a funny guy and I like to be a lighthearted and fun going guy.
Yeah.
So if I do that at any point, I apologize ahead in advance because
Yes.
it probably will happen.
Probably will happen. Yeah. All right. And with that, folks, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you to Nina for being here for Mr. CCDV. Thank you to everybody in chat. And
Oh, right. Just a second. I know you were gonna say that. Hold on. Oh, I didn't curl the ends. Doggone it. I'm gonna shave this off tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah. So my Mr. CCDV, the drunken philosopher look is gonna go away because I can't maintain this anymore. So I'm gonna shave it off tomorrow. So hey, whatever. It's a look, but
Yeah. And but with that, thank you all. And like I said, keep Mr. CCTV in your prayers, and just kind of maybe give him a poke or whatever once in a while, and be like, "Hey, dude, how you doing?" Kind of thing. Um, you'd be surprised how far that goes. Um, you'd be really surprised how far that goes. And with that, I'm going to end this as Richard always would end it. Thank you, and good night.